Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katelyn from Florals.com and welcome back for another episode of 6x6 Fix. Today I think you'll like this episode. After you're done watching, make sure you head to Maggie's video, which will be linked down below, and also check out the playlist of 6x6 Fix videos I have done in the past. Here is where the fun starts. I'm working with my How to Kill a Kit with Style for the month of June, and I have this wonderful paper pad called BU from Echo Park, and it's a gorgeous paper pad, florals and fun patterns, and it's got pinks and teals and yellows. Really just a great color scheme, and I adore it. But I'm getting down to the scraps. So here you'll see I have 4 full-size 6x6 pieces left, and the rest are these wacky scrap pieces. I have done some crazy things with this paper pad, which has been featured in 6x6 Fix before, so if you haven't checked that out, I will have the playlist link down below so you guys can see all of the videos with the various paper pads I've used. But it is another one where I have finished a paper pad, but you'll have to see the end results here to see how it exactly ends up, because it's a bit different than the way it looks right now. So whenever I do a project like this, where it is very scrap focused or smaller layer papers, I just kind of lay them out, and if they're overflowed like this one, I actually kind of overdid it, if you will, for this particular page. But essentially what I do is mix and match colors first, patterns second. So I make sure that different colors are next to each other within the layers, whether it's the navy, whether it's the minty blue, whether it's that tealy green. Again, I don't know which colors these are. It depends on what shade you think it is. Just making sure that there's variation between all of the layers. Now you'll see, since we have some smaller pieces, I want to make sure that they're emphasized. So I am using my gray Distress ink, the smoke color, and essentially just using it as a definer, defining the edges. And the reason I didn't go with black is because this is a navy focused collection, and I could have went in with a navy instead, but I thought the gray would add more of a subtle look than a dark navy might. And you'll see my layers keep changing as I go forward, but to get started, I'm just going to do the layers under my photo. And since I'm setting that aside, I do want to note that I do want to put that on some foam adhesive, so I grabbed a sheet of my fun foam and put it under the photo while it is over there on the left-hand side of my desk. Then the fun part begins, inking edges all around. Let me tell you guys, I think this is the first time I've inked this many edges in a very, very long time, and I did speed it up quite a bit so you guys wouldn't be bored. But here you'll also see that I am just moving around my pieces a little bit. And as I mentioned earlier, I do finish off this paper pad, but it does look chaotic. So if you're like me and have some paper pads that are very scrap heavy, this is a great way to utilize them. Even if you have a small amount of scraps, even if you just think you're going to not need that many, or if you're not a person who likes crazier layouts, maybe you like simple layouts, just start with a few. And as I'm going to start putting my layers into place with glue, I'm starting from the bottom up. That way I can make sure everything's in place the way I want it and in the order that I want it before I start going crazy. So here is where I start putting in those layers, and you can see they don't go all the way across, they don't go all the way down. I leave the holes punched into the top of these 6x6 just to give them a little bit more length. Just another quick tip that you can do, just leave the edges on and you can use it as, you know, essentially just a little extra length, maybe even a 1/4 inch, depending on what type of paper pad you have and how much space it actually gives you. So here I am simply just gluing everything into place, and since all the edges are inked, and I know it's very hard to see sometimes on camera, you can definitely see it better in person, just the contrast that's provided between all of the layers. Now there are a few instances here where I think I didn't do a good enough job of providing contrast between either the colors that the layers are touching or the patterns, mainly when it comes to the white-based backgrounds with a lot of colorful patterns on top. I find those ones harder to work in because they do touch all of the colors. So for those triangle papers I'm laying down now, they have pink, they have the navy, they have the mint, they have the yellow. So I would put them next to anything like that, it's going to create less contrast because it does exist already. So putting those kinds next to darker patterns or flat patterns can be really useful. Now, since I have all my paper layers in place and I only have one scrap left, but it is a weird shaped scrap, which you can see off to the left-hand side, that's going to end up in the recycling bin. Yes, I could have trimmed it down and used pieces of it, but honestly, I've used up this paper pad enough. That little strip that had a bunch of hand-cut pieces missing out of it can go in the recycling and call this paper pad done. What I decided to do was use this wood veneer piece, and these wood veneer pieces are easily accessible at a Michael's or a Joann's or any hobby store, craft store, and they sell them in like the DIY section. So it's just this cluster of 3 flowers which I placed on top of a doily, and I put a matching doily to the top right of the photo. Now what's really nice is if you're ever making a page that is a gift for someone, you don't necessarily have to love how it turns out. So this is a great time to experiment. It's a great time to try new color schemes, to try new things, because it's not necessarily something you'll have to look at for your lifetime, but someone else will. And they might think the sentiment is much more meaningful than the actual outcome of the project. So if you're looking into doing a gift album or anything like that, you can check out my other videos that I've had about gift albums, like last month's chipboard mini album, etc. I've done a couple ones now, so you guys can check all of that information out. And if you're looking for behind the scenes about this page or any of the other types of crafty content you can imagine, I do weekly vlogs over on my Patreon, and you can check that out, linked down below. So here I used this We Are Memory Keepers sticker set, and normally I wouldn't ink every embellishment that goes onto a page. I know some people do. I just usually ink the paper layers, but in this case I do ink some of the die cuts and some of the stickers. I do not ink the wood veneer. I do not ink the flare, of course, but you could, and a lot of the basic stickers I do not. I just glue them into place and leave them as is. So I used that Heidi Swapp Just Believe sentiment up there at the top right, and I've used 2 tabs from Illustrated Faith down the right side of my page. And then that flare is from Fancy Pants, that's to the left of the photo. And again, what's really fun about these types of layouts is they're like a junk layout. You can really put anything on here and it gives it this nice collage look. And it's so fun and young and bright, and I really love how many different patterns there are. I just think it screams fun, and hopefully you guys do too, and can try it out with one of your paper pads that might be dwindling in choices. And this isn't the paper pad I thought I would finish this month. I have another one that only has 3 pages left in it, so hopefully I'll be able to add another paper pad to my empties this month. You guys will just have to subscribe and stay tuned to see if that happens, but we are making some dents in this mega kit, slowly but surely. And then I end up finding in my embellishment bag for my How to Kill a Kit with Style for the month a little wood veneer tab from Pink Fresh Studio that says plan, and this is perfect because this is a school related photo. So we can just add a little plan there, and I'll add some other school-related emblems later on when I finish embellishing. Here I just end up adding my title, or what will be my title. It's just an ephemera piece that says anything is possible with pink lettering and a pink flower. I just think that's so sweet, and since I'm struggling to keep the wood veneer in place, I grab a glue dot and put that underneath my tab there. And that starts the wood veneer phase. I will come back and add some more wood veneer because right now there's only 2 pieces and it seems a little bit uneven on the left-hand side of the layout. So I'll definitely go back and add some more. But surprisingly, I actually go for phrase stickers before I finish actually embellishing the layout. So that's kind of a different one for me. Usually that's like the last thing I'll look for, but I saw these cute yellow ones and I just had to use them while I thought of them, so I couldn't forget. Here I am now going to look through a bunch of other embellishments that I just simply don't end up using, but then remember I have these Simple Stories ones that'll be perfect. They have pencils, they have an alarm clock, they have a typewriter, they have a planner, and I think there's one other one, scissors. So, you know, kind of school themed stuff, and I can simply lay those around in the clusters here. And although it's a chaotic layout, I think you guys will still like how it turns out in the end, and you can see all the details in the up close that I will share at the end. And here's where those wood veneer come in. I grab a camera and a little arrow and just add those to the top cluster and then the bottom right cluster. Here's that little planner sticker that I put next to the plan wood veneer. And you know, even though this is a conglomerate of multitudes of different brands and sources, you know, we got a DCWV background, Echo Park 6x6 paper pad, Simple Stories stickers, Chamel die cuts, Heidi Swapp die cuts, Jilly Bean Soup wood veneer, Fancy Pants flare, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. But I think it really came together, and yes guys, I did not use washi tape on this layout. Hopefully you guys can forgive me. I definitely can go back and add more though, so if you guys want to see washi tape, I can go add it. But here are the close-ups. I really love this type of color scheme, and if you guys do too, it was popular a couple years ago, but I think it is such a cute color scheme and such a cute photo of my niece. And I just love how this layout turned out, and hopefully you guys do too. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out Maggie's video link down below, as well as the resources to learn more about Black Lives Matter. But here's my empty, and I am done with this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!